Good morning, fam. Well, hey, it's Matty J. How we doing? Wonderful morning out here, driving to work. Not rainy like yesterday. Beautiful, clear, bright, and sunny. It's a good feeling. And I was up going for a walk, as I normally do in the mornings, and I thought, this has become a habit of mine. When I wake up, and my first thought is, drink water, pet the cat, go to the loo, and then get up and go for a walk, right? And it's all pretty quick happening. And if I catch myself thinking about it, it feels strange that I'm not just in the action of doing, that I'm not already like waking up. Sometimes, I wake up because the sun is coming into my eyes. I like to sleep with my windows open, so up with the sun. I have that morning sun coming into my bedroom, so extremely blessed that way. Most times I wake up because my cat, little Maple, wants to eat or play. She's just meowing. She's a fully adult cat, but it's great to see that instinct hasn't come out of her, that she's still extremely playful and wanting to to let me know that, hey, the day's starting. Why aren't you up? And regardless of sort of that time that you get up, for me 5:30, 6, around then. For other people, it could be 8, 9, 10, 4 in the afternoon. All good, whatever your schedule is for whatever you do with your time. The thought that occurred to me in waking up, this morning was, all right, I'm up. What's the set of principles I need to look after? It's, as I said, go to the loo, flush out, whatever I need from the previous day, the night before, have some water, pet the cat. We normally have a nice little play session when I get back from my walk, and then go on the walk, right? And sometimes I just walk out of the house and just walk around the neighbourhood. Sometimes I'll hop in the car, go for a drive. Again, I'm pretty blessed to be near some parklands, and the ocean, the beach. So you did that this morning, went for a nice little stroll across the boardwalk. And I sort of just did it on autopilot, right? And you think, well, righto, what's the process behind that? And it's like, well, as a kid, I woke up and started, eating Fruit Loops and watching Pokemon, right? Dragon Ball Z, as a kid, that was sort of, that's what you did, and you then stuck around and waited till your parents forced you to have a shower, and then they basically told you when to get on the school bus and go. And then, high school, it was basically sleep in for as absolute long as you can until, 30 seconds before you got to be out the door, and you basically wake up, chuck on whatever clothes you have lying on the floor, and, skip breakfast because, that impacts on your sleeping time, and get off to school. And, even, uni again, body clock was all out, spending late night hours, doing whatever, and then coming into class in the morning, in a less than desirable state of mind, and obviously, I wasn't thinking about a morning routine then, just, grab a cuppa, and just try to exist, I suppose. And then sort of similar with work, you're waking up and you're going straight to the office or to the work site, and you just sort of, again, getting out of bed last minute, maybe going through a drive-through, getting some tucker on the way in, maybe go through Macca's, grab a brekkie burger and a coffee or something, or a B&E roll, and for a good 30 or so years, that was my life, and obviously for me, right, and it's basically all I can talk about here is the learnings for me, was that the thought that I was like, I was selfish. I was like, I want more. I want more out of today. I want more out of the way that I feel, right? And not to go into, all the details right here, right now, but I've made a lot of lifestyle changes since, hitting the dirties. Quit drinking, started getting up early in the morning, started keeping, a gratitude journal more consistently, shocking, right? And I can't begin to tell you how blessed I feel, how grateful I feel every day, how clear my mind is, how wonderful I feel to spring out of bed and get started with living a day that I'm blessed to have, right? And so getting up in the morning and as I said, going for this walk was something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but to actually get up and do it became not so easy, because I've built 30 years of habits of not doing that. And don't get me wrong, days when it's raining, sometimes when there's an excuse, I feel a bit sick, maybe I've had a really big workout the day before, my legs are just absolutely killing me. There are, or on my holidays, there are those days when you wake up and hey, having the sugary cereal and the TV in the morning is just fantastic. Or obviously going to the drive-through, or just sleeping in bed and not doing it right. And those days still happen, much farther and further in between from what they used to be. Because it legitimately feels strange when I wake up. First thought, grateful to be alive, awesome, how good I am, blessed to be here today. Let's get up and go for a walk. And if that's the thought pattern that I've developed, and it's again taken me 3 consistent years of getting up and saying, this is what I want to be doing with my time. And again, that got me thinking about habit change, and great book about atomic habits. I think the name's guy's James somebody or other. I was about to say James Dean, but I'm pretty sure that was an actor. I'm sure it'll come to me in a moment. But that book, also an audio book, if you're not one to read, I'm sure it's available out there. If you don't like sitting down or making the time to read, if you want to do it while you're driving in the car, and perhaps recording videos isn't your thing, listening to audiobooks is a fantastic way to spend the journey. James Clear? Anyway, Atomic Habits. So that was a book that, again, spoke to the small incremental changes that need to be made in order for something to become a habit. And, without going too much into that, because I'll let you figure that one out on your own, just discover that and work through it as you find out what habits is. The little thing that sort of stuck out to me to talk on today, the thought that really popped into my head, is the rule of threes, okay? And it's the 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, and before you know it, it'll be 3 years. And so 3 days is your, look, you want to try something, try it for 3 days. Doesn't matter what it is, okay? If you want to really see, is this something that I can stick to, you'll know. If you can commit to the 3 days, you can think, all right, this is achievable. Because doing something for 1 day, you've had a good day. Doing something on back-to-back days, more or less, cool, I just got to repeat what I did the day before. But the third day, your body's coming into that sort of stage of, mate, this is starting to get out of the ordinary. We don't normally do this. Are you really sure you want to choose to do this? And with that comes a lot of willpower and a lot of oomph, a lot of forcing yourself to do it. And you get there and you do the 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, up to you if you want, you can take a break. For me, I didn't. I just said, keep going. And then you do the same sort of pattern. You strive for 3 weeks. And this is probably the hardest part, because it's very much, right, it's not just in your head, it's not just a few days of your time. It's now, hey, this is going to start to be affecting my work routine, it's going to be affecting my social life. Right, 3 weeks is a chunk of time, right? But anyway, let's say you persevere, you get through that, and then you're on to 3 months. Now you're talking lifestyle change. now you're talking a completely different way of looking at the world. And after you've done it for the 3 months and it's become more or less a habit in how you get up and do things, before you know it, 3 years will have gone by and you think, okay, this is just who I am, this is how I do things. So life comes in many stages, as we spoke about earlier, lots of seasons that you go through. You want to start implementing change, think about your schedule, get up, just try something. Try it for 3 days first. And with that, have a great day one.